But I liked what you were saying, Topuria versus Oliveira. Oliveira.
Your first introduction at 55. He's kind of
Oliveira so tall
and dangerous.
So dangerous everywhere. Dangerous striking. Huge reach advantage.
Former UFC lightweight champion Charles Oliveira is training relentlessly for his upcoming title fight against Ilia Topuria, driven by a fierce determination to reclaim the belt. Confident in his finishing ability, Oliveira respects the challenge. Topuria presents but remains unwavering in his faith in his own skills. "My achievements speak for themselves. I have nothing left to prove," he declared. Oliveira made it clear that his focus is on a decisive victory and that he's fully prepared to stop Topuria.
Thoughts on Ilia Topuria and Ilia Topuria as a fighter? How do you feel about just the overall fight?
É uma grande luta. Ele é um grande lutador, mas eu não preciso falar mais nada pra ninguém de quem eu sou, o que eu já fiz dentro da cage. Essa luta chegou numa oportunidade gigantesca. Vou nocautear esse cara. Essa é ela. Who's gonna knock this guy out?
On the other hand, Ilia Topuria is more than ready for any challenge thrown his way. He issued a warning to Oliveira, vowing to make him pay for what Islam Makhachev did, showing no fear of Oliveira's renowned submission skills. With his sights firmly set on the title, Topuria has even earned the backing of heavyweight champion John Jones, who commented on the Georgian's rapid rise. "Only time will tell how Topuria handles success," Jones remarked. "Winning a UFC title is tough, but staying champion is even tougher. Pressure, fame, money, and distractions test you like nothing else. Few fighters can sustain it long term." Despite these challenges, Jones expressed confidence in Topuria, praising his strong support system and believing the rising star will make the right choices to cement his legacy.
En primer lugar, agradecerle a Charles, la verdad, por haber aceptado el reto, ¿no? Algo que Islam no hizo y tiene que pagar el precio por Islam. La verdad, me da mucha pena por Charles, pero bueno, al final del día es mi trabajo.
Charles Oliveira tiene el mayor número de sumisiones en la UFC. Dijiste que querías someter a Makhachev, no sé si quieres doblar la apuesta con Oliveira y someterlo.
No sé, con Oliveira la verdad que lo que sea menos doloroso para él, eso es lo que haré porque me cae muy bien.
However, Daniel Cormier has questioned why Charles Oliveira continues to be underestimated despite his impressive track record. "It's surprising that people aren't seeing him as a serious threat," Cormier remarked. Chael Sonnen shared a similar view, dubbing Oliveira the Forsaken One and drawing comparisons to underline his point. Sonnen likened Ilia Topuria to Arman Tsarukyan, recalling Tsarukyan's razor-thin fight against Oliveira, a bout where he was nearly finished before being saved by the bell. He noted that Oliveira and Tsarukyan are close in athleticism, implying that Topuria faces a formidable challenge stepping into the octagon with the former champion. "This won't be an easy night for Topuria," Sonnen warned, highlighting Oliveira's often overlooked danger.
Said Ilia too, bro, do you think anybody has an answer for that guy?
I say time will tell. One thing that I know from experience, just being in the sport for so long, that it's difficult to win the belt. It's more difficult to live the lifestyle of a UFC champion and continue being a UFC champion. The fame and the press and the money and the girls and the alcohol and all of it, it doubles down on you. And very few people can handle it. So I actually do wish Elias all the support in the world. I know he has a great family, a great management team, and a great fight team, and great friends.
He's a savage, bro.
I think he's
Islam's savage, bro.
I think he's gonna do the right things. But we'll see. It's always going to be a matter of time when it comes to people that have become champion. It's a very hard thing to make.
Meanwhile, Arman Tsarukyan has announced he's ready to step in as the backup fighter for the upcoming lightweight title bout between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira. After a recent grappling match in Moscow, Tsarukyan stressed the importance of seizing every opportunity, revealing that a previously misdiagnosed injury had stalled his progress. "I'm fully focused on getting back on track," he said, adding that he's prepared to take on any role the UFC needs. On the fight itself, analyst Josh Thompson weighed in, pointing out the significant challenge Topuria faces moving up to lightweight. Charles is tall, lanky, and one of the UFC's most dangerous submission specialists, Thompson observed. While many expect Topuria to chase a knockout, Thompson highlighted Oliveira's legendary resilience. "He often gets Rocked or wobbled, but always finds a way to win. His toughness reminds me of Eddie Alvarez.
Why does it feel like Charles doesn't have a chance? Like, this is Charles Oliveira we're talking about. Why are people just writing him off?
Yeah, Charles really is kind of the forsaken one here. I mean, let me just give you a great example, which would be Sarukian. If I told you that Ilya was going to fight Sarukian, I think you'd go, wow, that's a close fight. Well, if I can play that game with you and just remind you that Sarukian fought Charles and it was, wow, a super close fight.
Yeah.
I mean, to the fact that they thought that, you know, when the fight was over, it was a split decision. When they weren't sure what was going to happen, Charles was choking him out, and it was kind of a saved by the bell moment. Charles and Sarukian are very interchangeable in terms of their athleticism. And I think if you think about it that way, you realize that Topuria really is stepping into some deep water.
UFC welterweight. Michael Chiesa finds it tough to bet against Ilia Topuria in the vacant title fight against Charles Oliveira. Though Chiesa has long admired Oliveira and respects his legendary career, he believes Topuria's precise body striking could be the deciding factor. Oliveira's tall stance leaves his midsection exposed, and we've seen him hurt by body shots before, Chiesa pointed out. He also highlighted Topuria's strong grappling background, suggesting his wrestling skills could effectively neutralize Oliveira's submission game, a major challenge even for one of the UFC's top finishers. In the end, Chiesa predicts Topuria will come out on top.
Будешь ли страховать бой за пояс в легком весе? Даже на суперкроссном или
Да, я готов, буду готов. То есть я сейчас вылетаю в Америку и буду там находиться, если что-то травмируется, если UFC мне скажет, что ты готов, я скажу.
UFC Hall of Famer Michael Bisping recently broke down the highly anticipated Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira matchup, emphasizing Oliveira's constant threat inside the octagon. Charles is aggressive, always pushing forward with punches, knees, elbows, and if the fight hits the mat, he's hunting for submissions, Bisping explained. While noting this will be Topuria's lightweight debut, the former middleweight champion praised the Georgian's explosive striking arsenal. Ilya's boxing pressure, one-punch knockout power, and Greco-Roman wrestling background make him a nightmare opponent. Ultimately, Bisping conceded, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Topuria gets his hand raised.
Fight to do it against, you're going up in weight and you're fighting a former champion in Charles Oliveira, who is tall, long, and lanky and extremely good on the ground. One of the best, if not the best, in the UFC in terms of submissions. So this is, and it's so funny because when the fight was announced, I'd seen everyone say, man, Ilya's going to knock him out, But as now, in the last probably 3 or 4 days, I've seen a ton of people kind of not retracting what they said, but just basically saying, yeah, Charles, though, I've seen him, he gets dropped or gets wobbled in every fight, and then he comes back and wins. And I'm like, yeah, he has that Eddie Alvarez kind of effect, where he gets hurt, he gets stunned, and then he comes back and submits you, or he comes back and he wins 3 or 4 rounds, or whatever it is. Like, he's that guy.
Renato Moicano has offered a more nuanced perspective on the upcoming Oliveira versus Topuria clash, cautioning that the fight may be closer than many expect. While Ilia Topuria enters as the favorite, Moicano highlighted Charles Oliveira's resilience. Charles is as tough as they come. You can never count him out. Though he acknowledged Topuria's dominance at featherweight, Moicano shared that his outlook shifted after hosting Oliveira on his podcast. I went in neutral, but Charles won me over, he admitted, crediting their conversation and a bit of Brazilian pride for swaying his support toward the former champion.